America. My name is Osei-Frimpong, and you are watching this week's edition of the Black Athenians. It's been a very, very busy week. I'm going to talk about it next week, but just know that Taylor Salters, the police officer who ran over my man Woozy, right out the big video. I did a video on it, and it's been a little bit of news. Taylor Salters, he came to an agreement with the county that he would be paid $250,000 plus the $50,000 he made from GoFundMe for the mental anguish of running over Woozy, Timmy Patton. I feel some sort of way about that because I feel like you probably shouldn't get paid to run over the occasional Negro. And like he did it again in another town. We're going to talk all about it next week. So this guy just has a hobby of running over black people when he gets bored from time to time.
And he gets paid. It's not a hobby. He gets paid for it.
He gets paid. It's a job.
Yeah, it's a career. He's made a career out of running over black people.
So there's that. Taylor Salters got a $250,000 settlement from the city for being fired. No, not just being fired. We can fire people. It's Georgia. You can fire people any other way. For the mental anguish of distress and slander that goes along. Because it turns out you should be able to run over black people and not be called any names.
It wasn't excessive force according to the GBI. He only used the car to stop a person.
I used the car, yeah.
Physically.
So we called him some names, and it got in his feelings. And that's what $250,000 because white feelings are profitable. Woozy, the guy who got hit, and I'll be honest, I visited Woozy in jail. The first thing he said was, "My back hurts." He picked up $15,000. So now you know how much black life is worth relative to white life. If you get hit by a car, you get $15,000. If you just hit an inconvenient Negro, you get $250,000 because nobody should be inconvenienced by a Negro. I'm going to talk about that next week. This week, I'm going to talk about money and what money means because this is an educational show. I teach philosophy. The University of Georgia. The University of Georgia is coming at me, but I'm not being quiet. They came after the wrong Negro, and if Taylor Salters gets his $250,000. I had a whole university declare war on me for telling the truth. That's going to happen. All right. So,
hey, look, you've got a history department that's already like, hey, no, this is actually true.
Everything
whole department.
I got like pictures. Like, the thing is, the university, I can say this because they did this. They came out with a tweet. And some donors got mad because I was saying that we got to watch these white people because white people kill black people. And I say that because in the United States, white people have a habit of killing black people because they're black. Like that's. And I'm just wondering, have we stopped or have we just transformed it? These are all good questions because it's not like white people killed black people because they were black. That's just what we did, like in the county. The question is, have we stopped and why? And we need to actually investigate that because I think it's transfigured in some way. So I said that. Some donors got upset at the university. And I also said, that Bobby Wright said, this is great. I said that Bobby Wright said that black people kill black people because they haven't been experiencing killing white people. You know what? Bobby Wright did say that. Bobby Wright did. I know that makes you feel some ways. Well, you can't just be quoting Bobby Wright like that. Bobby Wright, did I say Dr. Bobby Wright? I can quote, he said that in a public piece and gave reasons behind it. The piece is wonderful. It's called The Psychopathic Racial Personality. And then he said, look, after World War I, when the World War I vets came home, we got a spike in civil rights activity. Same with World War II. When the vets came home, we got a spike in civil rights activity. It's because they were used to fighting white people. Now, with black people, we send black boys from about age 3. You can look at the stats. Once again, come after me if you want to, but I've done the reading. So look at the stats. Starting from age 3, they're disproportionately punished in preschool. So,
Didn't we just have an incident about a Cumberland Mall, a child?
Oh, selling CDs.
Selling his CDs.
Yeah. So,
12.
Black people, we've been trained out of fighting white people, from age 3. That's our education. That's different from the people who went over and killed some white Germans. during either of the world wars. They came back with a different experience on how you fight white people. So like this is important and this is what we need to investigate. And what does that mean that you're acculturated from 3 years on, not like if you make white people comfortable, you automatically get legitimately punished? Like what does that mean for your psyche, black people? Because we do not go from here to there without making white people uncomfortable. So yeah, so I said that. Some donors got mad. He's calling me a racist. Yeah, what's up? Okay. Yeah, that's I got to do the intro. All right, so I'm going to do the intro in a second. Anyway, so I said that. Some donors got mad. Oh, he's calling me a racist. I'm like, no. I'm saying that white people kill black people because they're black in America, and we might need to think about that, why that happens. And have they stopped?
Governor of Kentucky seems to think this is still a profitable idea.
This is something yes. So there are all these statements that I say that make white people nervous because maybe they should be a little bit nervous. Not for me. I don't have a gun. Like I don't know. I'm just saying that we're gonna try to get our fair share of the United States, and white culture in America does not make the kind of white people who want to voluntarily give black people their fair share of the United States. So like they might get violent, and the nature of violence is once it happens, it's uncontrollable. That's the nature of violence. That's how you end up with a Heather Hare up in Charlottesville or a Viola Luzo. So, and talking about this isn't racism. Talking about this is talking about racial justice. Like, I'm telling you the truth about white people in America. Like, I didn't make white people white. Their skin color didn't even make white people white. The cotton economy, the FHA, and the Klan made white people white. I'm just saying that what do we do with white people now? What is to be done with them? And have we stopped making the awful ones? These are all open questions. And so, donors got mad at me at the university. He's a racist. What's he doing? And it turns out I'm actually doing really good work at the university, so they can't get me that way. But the university released a tweet. Do we have a copy of the tweet?
I can probably find it.
Anyway, they released a tweet saying that, all right, so we can't get him on First Amendment grounds, but we're going to look for everything else to get him for. And so they launched a big investigation with lots of staff hours trying to get something on me. And they got a misdemeanor trespassing for an Occupy arrest and trying to make this big thing to put me on permanent probation. But that's not happening. So
I thought probation was, the idea was it's temporary. How you put somebody on permanent probation?
What I'm trying to do is innovate my due process rights.
Yeah.
The goal is my due process. And I've read my Dred Scott, so I'm keeping all my rights. like Dred Scott's decision where Justice Taney, I want to say his name was, decided that black people have no rights that a white man is bound to respect.
Yeah.
The University of Georgia is trying to get me back on that status. I'm saying, no, I want all my rights. I'm not being a second-class citizen in my own university. Anyway, so they launched a war against me, and they're going to lose it because I guess they were just assuming that I'm that kind of Negro who doesn't fight back. But I was raised around white people, so I'm going to get my $250,000.
I feel like they didn't watch the show if they thought you were the kind of Negro that wasn't going to fight back.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we didn't do enough pre-investigation.
They picked the wrong way. They thought I'd be ashamed. Oh, he's going to be too ashamed. No, I'll take my check and make it out to cash. For my mental anguish, because this has been very stressful for the whole Osei-Frimpong family, and it's been dragging out. I do not like any of this. Anyway, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, and with that, we're going to talk about money after Matthew hits the beat.
Yeah. Sound good to me. Never change the ways for the world or the government. If I was the president, then I would state facts. You leave it up to me, I paint the White House black and ain't no future in your front.
So we're going to talk about money today. Money. And this is important because in order for black people to be made whole, there's going to be the government's going to print a lot of money and put it in black hands. And people are going to say, how are we going to pay for it? So I'm going to start with a few questions. You guys grab the mic. Let's figure this out. First, we'll go with, Okay, we're not going to go sit. Matthew, what are taxes? Why does government collect taxes?
We collect taxes to pay for like provisions for the community, so like public roads, public schooling, things for the public and the benefit for the
All
public.
right, that is one answer. That's the answer I got in my class today. Taylor, why does government pay taxes? I mean, why do we collect taxes?
Because they have a giant military budget.
We have a giant military budget. We got to pay for guns. Alexis, why does government take tax? Why does government? You got to speak all the facts. You know, I got people watching. All right, we're coming back to you.
Okay.
Sin, why does government pay taxes?
Israel needs more money.
Israel needs more. We're going to talk about that because this is all.
Israel's occupation is expensive, and taxpayers in the U.S. clearly should pick up the tab.
By the way, that is not anti-Semitic. He didn't say anything about Jews. He didn't say anything about Jews. He said Israel.
Israel is a government.
I have
and
no
policies.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem with the Jewish religion. Anything about that. I'll say what white people always say. Some of my best friends are Jews. I went to Brandeis University.
Like, let's be clear.
I am the Negro the chosen people choose. I am a fan of the Jews. It's like I have no problem with that. It's just that like we gave them $50 billion in foreign aid, and then we're like, Netanyahu said like, psst, that's not enough because you want us to spend it with American contractors, weapons contractors, as opposed to Israeli contractors. So like I'm not a fan of that, but that's not anti-Semitic. That's like anti-Netanyahu. Which I'm allowed to be. Like I'm allowed
Israel
to be a fan.
is a government. You are allowed to be against an oppressive regime.
Especially if our tax money are going to Ukraine.
We're writing them
And
checks.
all we're saying is like buy Smith and Wessons and not like whatever's being sold in Israel. So like that's not anti-Semitic. I know someone's gonna tell me it is. It's not. Nope. Nope. But it's very important that I want to go to Alexis. Alexis, what's this tax money for? Why do you pay taxes? Why would you? Into the microphone. See, this is all right. So I'm not on campus right now, but I'm a fan. See, my kind of feminism expects women to talk. I'm gonna need you to talk, Alexis, even if you don't know. Because everybody's been wrong so far. So, like, you being wrong.
Well, I
yes.
think taxes are illegal. So
You think taxes are illegal?
Well, the Federal Reserve isn't part of the government. And
Okay.
so, therefore, they shouldn't be taking money from us for things that we don't even know, like, what it's going to half of the time. So, I guess that's my answer.
That's not the worst answer. So, here's the deal. I'm going to tell you why the government takes your taxes. Government doesn't need your money. The U.S. government prints money. Like, we're off the gold standard. We're off, like, no silver. Like, we just print it because we want it. We have a fiat currency. That means we're like God. We just, like, I want money, so, like, money. Like, so I don't need your money. The government doesn't need your tax money. Because it could just print money. It needs your tax money it needs something else from you. So let's say we're all together. Everybody who's watching, how many people watching me? About 100?
105 right now.
105 right now. So the 105 of us who are watching me, we all get together and decide, you know what? I would really like a university. We all get together. It's a democratic process. And we all want a university. And we all decide we're going to get a university. That's great. That's great. All right. So now, what does that mean? Does that mean we can just will a university into being? No, someone's got to build the university. Someone has to build the university. So then we say, like, all right, so we all decide we want a university. That's great. What do we do next? Well, we have to deputize an executive. So we deputize Matthew, because Matthew's very responsible. We deputize Matthew to go, like, to go get us a university built. Okay. All right.
You don't got to mention that.
And we're all still very confused. He does that.
He didn't say that. It says, I pay my interns. By the way, I pay my interns, which means I need you to pay me. So go to funkyacademic.com. On the right panel, you'll find a place where you can give $5, $15, or $50 a month. I give news. I give very important information every week. And like, I need to pay Matthew, and I kind of want to, grow a little bit. So, and I have bills.
Matthew also doesn't take free food from events. He is the worst undergrad I've ever met.
He's very smart. Anyway, so
brilliant.
I want to keep paying Matthew, and I kind of want to keep him over the summer too. So money. And in a well-ordered world, when he graduates, I can just pay him a white guy salary. I want to pay him like a white guy. All right. So that'll come from your money. And so if you appreciate Matthew like I do, none of this like pay me so I can pay him, and then also keep the lights on because,
Y'all can show all that love y'all show in the chat for Matthew with checks too.
Yeah. Because thank yous are nice, but thank yous don't pay the bills. Thank yous don't organize coalitions.
Y'all
money
love y'all
does.
some
But all
Matthew.
right, so we all decide we want a university. Everybody in chat, and Matthew and Sin and Taylor and Alexis and Andrea and Broderick, we all the audience, everybody decides we want a university. What we do is we deputize Matthew to go out and we say, all right, Matthew. Actually, just deputize me. We deputize me because I'm going to be the heavy. We deputize someone as a government authority. Look at me. I've been deputized. As a government authority to go out and say, Taylor, take the microphone. Taylor. All right. So you remember that meeting where we all decided that we were going to build a university? Mm-hmm. All right. So what I'm going to need from you is, now remember, you don't have a job yet. This is pre-economy.
Okay.
I'm going to need some money from you.
I don't have any money.
I'm gonna say either you give me some money or I'm gonna put you in jail. And to which you're gonna say?
You going to give me a job so I can earn some money?
Yeah, exactly. Funny you should ask that. Would you believe? Would you believe? I'm willing to give you a lot of money to build a university.
Oh.
I'm willing to give you so much money that you can pay me the money that will keep you out of jail. And you can go see Captain Marvel tonight and buy a house and do some other stuff. To which you say,
I don't really have any other options. That
yeah,
sounds pretty
there
good.
you go. There you go. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. And he's not averse to universities because remember, we all came together and decided that we need one. So pretty much, I need money is to coerce production or coerce the provision of productive goods that we decide we want. And this is for the authority's salary. Someone's got to pay for the military salary, the military to do that kind of labor, or pay for the military's guns, or no, not just pay for it, produce the guns. Someone needs to produce the guns. Someone needs to produce the food for the military, or someone's got to make the roads and all of that stuff. Right? We need labor, and if you don't get that labor and the commitment for labor, you end up like Brown versus Board of Education. Whereas you make this decision at the Supreme Court, but all these school districts all across the entire United States are like, nope. Nope. Nah. That's cute. Yeah. Well, we're going to keep my segregated school, thanks. So you don't have the means to produce what you've ordered, right? So in order to produce what we've ordered, we need to use our guns to coerce money out of people. But if we do it fairly, we give them opportunities to make money. So it's not necessarily illegitimate as long as we provide opportunities to make money to secure the goods that we've all decided that we need. And more than that, so that they could have this own little game going with each other so that they could secure goods from each other. Right? So we created money in order to get an objective and codified way to satisfy people's desire, an objective desire. And so we need to create also in them the desire for money. And the governments are really good at creating desire for money because if you don't give the government money, it puts you in jail. And this goes with fees, fines, or taxes. Not just taxes. Fees, fines, or taxes. How long can you make it without paying the government money? You can't get a speeding ticket. You can't. You're just a walking liability. As soon as you exit your house, and even while you're in your house, if you want water, as soon as you exit your house, you're just always potentially on the hook, and that's fine if you have money. That's fine if you have money. So this isn't necessarily an unjust system. This is just I'm giving you kind of deep political theory. This is just the system. But the problem, and it only becomes a problem when the government expects people to have money, but doesn't give them a means to make money. Because you can still get a speeding ticket or get an illegal parking ticket or get a boot, even if you have no job. So, and you know what they do when they do that? They put you in jail. So, yes.
No, I was thinking about the relation to the cash bond system that keeps innocent people in jail because they've been convicted of nothing because they don't have money.
Because they don't have money. Yeah, so it's okay to create the need for money and the demand for money as long as you create for people the means to earn money. So that's why you need like a federal job guarantee or some sort of like guaranteed job or assets, or you need some sort of scheme. Because right now there's one America for people who have disposable income who can get a traffic ticket, and then there's another America for people who get a ticket and end up in jail for like 6 months.
A $97 ticket.
That's a weirdly specific number.
Got somebody hit by a car.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Like, so we create money in order to get people to provision us goods. Both public goods and private goods. And we all have friends who want to keep us in debt and actually don't want us to pay it off. Because when they keep us in debt, that means we always owe them one, and they're willing to, and they expect us to do stuff. Because really, what they really need from us isn't the money, it's for us to do stuff and for us to owe them one, right? So that's what debt's for, to kind of extract a sort of behavior and productive labor from other people. So that's what the money's for. So you say like, oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought money paid for things. We're a fiat currency. Our money, and most of our debt's held by like us. So if we wanted to pay ourselves, we could just pay ourselves. No, we need debt to make people work. The good news is that the things they do when they work are good things, like build roads and schools and like even the private economy. It's all like it's good things. So it's good. It's not. It actually enables freedom. But like, let's not get confused about what money is and what money pays for. The government doesn't need your taxes to pay for what it wants to pay. What we get taxes for is to make sure things don't get too inflated. Right? So if we just print money all the time and put money out there, money starts to lose its value and inflation goes up. And that's a problem. Inflation's a problem, not the money, not inflation. So we need to kind of, for our money to mean something can't be so easy to get. And that's why we take a little bit of money back, or we take a good bit of that money back in taxes. Right? So the barrier at the federal level, this might be also the case at the state level since we don't let states go bankrupt, but at the federal level, it's definitely the case. Well, no state in the United States has ever gone bankrupt. Technically they can, but somehow they always get bailed out. So at the federal level, the barrier, this is macroeconomics, the barrier is price stability. And since this is why Trump can balloon our deficit, and it does not matter, because it doesn't matter. It does, there's enough slack in the economy that we can just print more money and it won't matter. And the people he's given money to just sit on money anyway. So, good. I'm glad. I hope that was very educational. Money isn't for what you think. When I explain this to the students, it's the same reason about grades. We create grades in order to get you addicted to grades, so that like you will now do what I tell you to do. Like that's the reason why we have grades in classes. Like there's no like this is a reflection of no. We need grades so that you will do your reading and like you'll produce the quality of whatever that I need you to produce. And so that's why like I manipulate you through grades. It's about social control. Now, what does this mean? So if there are two things that fall out of this. Think about the kind of people who can get other people to do what they want without money. Who are these people? They get what they want, but they don't have to pay for it. Celebrities. There's this great story about Pete Sampras. That's the age I am. I'm 40. So Pete Sampras was a tennis player in the 90s and 2000s, and he went to a restaurant, and someone said, "Oh, that's Pete Sampras." And his waiter said, "Oh, that's Pete Sampras." So his waiter said, "Oh, Pete Sampras, let me go and buy a tennis ball and get you to sign this tennis ball. That'd be great." And so he gets a tennis ball and Pete Sampras signs a tennis ball. And then Pete Sampras has his meal. And then Pete Sampras, the waiter comes and gives Pete Sampras his check and says, "Thank you very much." Pete Sampras is like, "What, you're going to make me pay for this now?" So Pete Sampras is a bit of a dick. But the moral of that story is that Pete Sampras thought he would be able to satisfy the restaurant or the waiter's desire without having to pay. But it turns out that, so we wanted the state-backed means of desire satisfaction, which is money. And so celebrities can kind of get things from people without having to pay money. I suspect now, I'm not particularly attractive, but I'm from California, so I've been around attractive people. I suspect the economy around beauty is markedly different. Because I know, at least I treat famously beautiful people differently. It's it's hard not to.
I think you can if you look at YouTube like a microcosm and look at the high number of followers and so forth and so on, I think that answers your question about how
people say well, you should shape up and shave. No, I'm trying to get you to look past appearances. I'm trying to get you with my mind, because appearances will always fool you. Anyway, so I think beautiful people can do things, and apparently there's a study I read that I think it was under 5'8". Every inch under 5'8", you need to earn $15,000 more a year in order to date at the same level. It got me right at the cutoff, man. So I could punch my weight.
I am not upset about being 6 foot, even when I was fatter.
Yeah, it's punch. It helps. Black, it's a little bit different because you're over 6 foot and you're black. I'm sure there's a penalty because you got to not take up as much space.
Too. I see cops. I'm like.
So the people who don't need money.
Women.
What's up?
Women.
So to an extent, did that come out of my mouth? I'm just saying that we need to be kind of honest and not just nobody treats black.
If you've ever gotten a free meal by going on a date,
that's you.
Just saying.
If you've ever had a cashier not give you the employee discount, and having been many times a cashier who's dated women who's given an employee discount. No, this isn't illegal. They just get my discount. It's like I've just preemptively taken you on a date. You still have to pay. You just get my discount. I'm not stealing. I'm just giving you a gift. With my own, I'm using what little juice I have as a cashier, as an employee, to give you my employee discount. Because I would like to talk to you.
And probably risking your job.
And probably risking my job. What we do for love, right? So this is why, honestly, this is why feminist politics and labor politics usually, have a hard time getting together. Especially when white women are involved. Because, they have a different relationship with, what it takes to get money. It's not like a child's relationship. Because, my 9-year-old doesn't really have my 9-year-old. I have a 6-year-old. She doesn't have a relationship with money. Actually, she kind of does, but not really, right? It's not the same. But
I'm actually still trying to I'm trying to get my 19-year-old to understand his relationship with money and the ability to have to accept the word no. Because he's just used to it moving around him before he was
moves.
A part of my life.
It just moves.
And then he got this chucklehead as a dad.
And it just doesn't move that way.
No, it does not move like that anymore.
So when I say that this is gendered in a weird way, it's also racialized because black women have black guys who try to buy them stuff, but they don't. So it's just so people who give you stuff instead of asking for payment, just give it to you because you asked. That means the world is providing for you. We're provisioning your needs and producing your needs for you without you having to pay for them, which is different than people who have to pay for everything. And black people, we gotta pay for everything, because there are no hookups in our world, or like the hookups are low rent hookups. You get how many people try to hook me up with things that don't work?
You can fix this.
Yeah, I gotta I get hooked up with things that break. My people. Money exists to kind of mediate desires and desire satisfaction, and it's not the word. It can be legitimate, it could be illegitimate, but that's why it exists. And at the federal level, we create money to get people to produce the kinds of goods we decide we need. So don't. And so if we decide we need to like have black people not be living in a degraded lifestyle, then we could produce that money. So don't let people tell you that we can't pay for reparations. The only problem is going to be inflation. But the thing is, most of us are in debt. So like if you give us money, it'll just go to servicing our debt. It'll just lower our like blood pressure. So like that doesn't drive inflation in the same way. And it also, if you actually secure black communities, we can become producers, and then that allows for supplier diversity and the competition that'll bring the price down for most goods. Because when just white people have the market for goods and services, they can charge whatever they want.
And we'll come together and decide as a group what they're charging.
What they're charging, and they're going to cahoots. And so, like, if you want, there are lots of ways to fight inflation. Plus, you look at which goods. Inflation isn't a generalized. People think inflation just general. No, inflation's like depending on the good. I wish I had that graph with me about like which goods create inflation. Matthew, go to my Facebook. And look at your photos.
Welcome back, by the way.
Yeah, I'm back on Facebook. From time to time.
It will last a week.
From time to time, there should be a graph of inflated goods, or maybe I just have it. Yeah, I might just have it. I wish I had it on my computer at home. From time to time, I get kicked off of Facebook. But I'm back. Follow me on Facebook.
I sent you a DM about that. As a matter of fact, there's an organization that wants to know about people's experience with Facebook, and I was like, "Ooh, Army!"
I'm occasionally. Well, Facebook jail is not as rough as real jail. So my forebears did a lot of work for me. So that's what money's for, to coerce, induce people to provision you with their labor, with the kinds of things you do, with the kinds of things you need. However, when this story is told in macroeconomics by like really good progressive white economists, they tell the story, and I don't think they do it as clearly as I do. Some of them do it like more scientifically, but I think I just gave a pretty clear story. They always talk about it being a way to induce labor. For black people, it's something different. It's a way to induce behavior, not just labor. Because there's a one part in your job application, and black Americans, you know this, that's not in the job applications, but is definitely a requirement of the job. You have to act as if white people aren't a problem because they're white people acting like white people. And that is a job, black people. That is a job, and it's denying your truth. So they are paying you to be an audience, not an audience, an actor. And so, like, in addition to whatever productive thing you're doing, they're paying for your behavior and for you to lie about the operation of race in America in a way that's calibrated to their comfort. That is the black tax. That is the black job requirement. And the moment you stop doing that, you might get a tweet from the university saying that, they're declaring war on you. The moment you stop doing that, it doesn't matter how productive you are in the formal job requirements, you are an extraneous Negro.
Someone's like, "Where's my Oscar?"
Where's my Oscar? Someone in the chat said, "Where's my Oscar?"
Funny story on that one.
Yes.
I've been there. As an HR rep, I have been told this person is being problematic. And when I looked at their behavior, I'm like, oh, they're just speaking up for black people. Yeah.
Speaking
How
up
do
for
we
black
address
people,
this?
How do we? Yeah, speaking up for black people is a
Oh,
fireable
Borders
offense.
is gone now. I can just say their name.
Oh, Borders doesn't exist.
What they gonna do?
Well, there's nothing. Borders not
Borders
doing
is
nothing.
gone.
Borders not
Yeah,
doing-
and it was really funny because
So they tasked you with the job to find something else to fire this person with. That was your job.
watch their if they're late, start documenting all their stuff. And I just said to someone earlier, one of the worst things I think I learned in HR was that my job was not to protect the employee.
No, your
It's
job is to
protect
fire them.
Yeah,
like,
and
if
make
they
sure that
become
we don't get
problematic.
corporation and get sued.
Yeah. By me. So we're gonna talk about. That's the tax you pay. And you know who's paid that tax this week? Who's in politics? That's why it all comes together. A young woman named Ilhan Omar from Minnesota. She's being taxed for paying the truth. People say, she was being anti-Semitic. No, she wasn't. She was just saying that AIPAC, AIPAC, pays money, throws around money to buy support for Israel. And that's okay because in AIPAC's mission statement, they say they throw around money to get support for Israel. Like this isn't like this is what they do. This is what everybody knows they do. This is their job. This is their mission. It's just not something Ilhan Omar is allowed to say. There's some fascinating tweets about this. There was one guy from San Diego who said, it's never appropriate to question the relationship between the U.S. and Israel. This is a sitting, all right, so the woman who did this is a sitting congressperson on the Foreign Affairs Committee. No, not the woman from San Diego, or the guy from San Diego, Ilhan Omar. She can question all of the things. She's allowed to question all of the things.
When did we decide that things were beyond question?
When do we decide that other states, entire nations,
especially
are beyond questions? Ones we give money to. No, we're gonna have. I'm gonna need you to ask all the questions. It's still cool to give the money at the end of the day, but you're gonna have to ask all of the questions first. And I need you to do your job. And if you don't think that's your job, then you don't know your job. And I'm here to tell you your job.
I think I agree with him right now because I think there's a situation where I would agree with him. Can I get reparations and y'all not ask me any more questions?
You don't ask me more questions. How dare you ask questions about the state of reparations in the United States?
Yeah,
obviously, black people deserve them. No, we don't get that. Everybody, we get questions as soon as we walk out the door. Why do you want money?
What y'all gonna do with it?
What you gonna do with it? I want receipts. I want a plan. I want a 20-year plan. I want a 300-year plan to make sure it's not a waste.
We know what Israel's doing with it.
And here's your nickel. Now, where's my paperwork? And I want to be able to write that nickel off of my taxes. If all that doesn't happen, then you're not getting your nickel. Israel's like, here, have the money. U.S. to Israel's like, here, just have the money. And it'd be nice if you buy our guns instead of Israel. No, we want to buy Israel's guns. Okay, well, you can have the money anyway. So
just tell us something occasionally in intelligence
people are
field.
going to get real mad until they do the research and find out I've been right about everything I've said on the show. There's a, so that's what money's for. And money we have to pay to get money as black people. We have to do more because we have to make white people comfortable about being white when it might not be something they should be so proud and comfortable about. Considering that there's still an unpaid debt to the black community that actually does work. And give me I put this graphic on every time, the wealth graphic. Yeah. I put this graphic on every time because it's important. And the moment you forget this is the moment you forget that we still have some unfinished business to do.
So when someone is pointing out that you are for sure going to get banned from YouTube for this,
it's like, wait, this is the lie. No, everything I've said is true. All right, so that graph says this is Edward Wolf's numbers. Edward Wolf is a wealth economist from NYU. He's been doing this for decades. White median family is it's gone up since these numbers are 2013. White median family is about at 116,000. Wealth, that's you make a handful of adjustments. And the black median net worth, like I said, we make a handful of adjustment. I think like one half working car is at $1,700 and going down. So make that small again. So the big deal isn't so much that the numbers are so high, are so disparate. That's a big deal, but that they're trending opposite directions. That means the same policy is creating adverse results, which means that we are not one nation, people. Because one nation has a shared fate. We are two nations. We're actually a colonized people, like within a functional state. We're a caste. So when the lines are going in opposite directions, it suggests that there's a predation going on. That means one line's going up because the other line's going down. And how that works is if, and that screws up your politics, because now if a black baby boomer dies and their family has to sell the house to pay for the funeral and all that stuff, and let's be honest, our home ownership is only at 43%, so like I'm talking to a minority people. And then a white baby boomer dies, and that leaves an inheritance, and they need to find some way to park their money. They just go to an auction and pick up our house that's been foreclosed on because we can't keep up on taxes. And not only is our house foreclosed, they now have an incentive to back policies that make it easier to foreclose on houses.
Nothing predatory about that.
Yeah. So it just sets up a rational predatory dynamic that I want to get at. But and I hope this has made sense. I hope and email this to all your friends. I need to get to about 10,000 subscribers, and what about 7,500? 73. All right, so I need to get to about 10,000. So email this to your friends. Anyone who wants to know what money's for, I've explained it, and I think done so pretty well. And look, when we're taught about economics, when we're taught about money, we're taught money in terms of what it is to be a consumer. We're not taught money about what it is to be an employer, or what it is to run a business, or what it is to govern. All right? We're taught about it from the point of view of a consumer. So when we go into the ballot box, we go into the ballot box like consumers go into the ballot box. And that's not the right way to go into the ballot box. All right? So thank you for your time. If you appreciate what I'm doing, this doesn't happen for free. And I can't print my own money.
Legally,
yes.
And we don't intend to.
And I don't
in
intend
case
to.
we need to say that.
Yes, I do not. There's no intent. So if someone's like, Army's floating fake money around, no, that's not me. So I need, for this to be a viable enterprise and for it to stay independent, I need you to go to thefunkyacademic.com, kick in a little bit, and preferably a monthly, because I have monthly bills, and $5.15 or $50, or you can give like $1,000. That'd be pretty cool too. And thank you for your time. I'll see you next week, and we're going to talk about. I think we're going to go into the Salters, all that mess. All right, we're going to go into what it takes. You're here for it. All right, take care. Bye.